Hi, and welcome to the Revolution Baseball Podcast. I'm your host, Alex Olivera, and it's my goal to bring you clear-cut strategies and drills designed to help make you and your program better. With that in mind, let's begin. All right, so today's guest has won several Coach of the Year awards with the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference and is currently the Associate Major League Scout for the Washington Nationals, as well as the Associate Athletic Director and the head baseball coach at Russ College in Holy Springs, Mississippi. Coach Stanley Stubbs. How are you doing, Coach?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Man, I'm doing well, just freezing like you look right now
Yeah,
in your.
gotta bundle up. Gotta bundle up, man. It's pretty cold out here.
Yep. All right, so coach, you coach at Russ College in Mississippi. However, that's not where you started. Can you tell us about your journey and how you got there?
Yeah, I will. And thanks for having me. I thank God for the opportunity to be able to be on your show, on your podcast. My journey with baseball was kind of unusual to me. I grew up playing baseball from the little leagues to travel ball. It was Dizzy Dean at the time, and I didn't play high school baseball because all of my friends played football and basketball, so I was more of a follower
Gotcha.
uh, at that particular time. But I could play baseball, and in the summertime, that's what we did. We played travel ball. Dizzy Dean played with a team called McDonald's travel ball team, and like I said, I grew up around baseball all my life, but then I went off after I graduated from high school. I went to Northeast Mississippi Community College, where I had to walk on the football team and gave it a shot playing baseball. But my grades didn't wasn't good enough to play, and so I had to sit out a year and get a job. And at that particular time, a girlfriend at the time got pregnant with my daughter, and so I had some tough decisions to make. So, but I stuck with it. The coaches stuck with me, and the next year they gave me an opportunity to play. I finished that year, and then I obtained a scholarship to Lane College to play football and baseball in 1991, 92. And so from then, my career kind of took off, and I always wanted to go to Jackson State. And after I graduated from Lane College, I went down to Jackson State University, and that's where I met one of the administrators by the name of Dr. Gene Young, and he introduced me to Coach Bob Brady, who was literally doing coaching baseball by himself, other than his coach, his assistant coach, which was his brother, and his brother was working in the middle school. So it was just the three of us, and he gave me that opportunity to coach and learn under his tutelage, and we was he had a very successful program. I mean, he's always been in the top tier of the conference. We've always had players drafted, and because I fell into a great situation, learning from a future Hall of Famer, a guy that's been
Right.
coaching college baseball since I mean he's been a head coach there for since 1973. I think that was his first year of coaching, having played there as well. So, but that opportunity afforded me the opportunity to learn some great things and learn and grow and develop as a young man and as a coach and as an inspiring coach. And after that, I met a guy by the name of Robert Lucas, who long time coach for Florida A&M University, who also was a scout for the Atlanta Braves. And then his brother-in-law was Hank Aaron, the late Hank Aaron, who just passed away last week, week before last. So
Right.
being around those guys gave me an opportunity to really learn the game of baseball at a high level. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity that Coach Brady and Jackson State University gave me.
Right. And I also I follow you on Twitter. I follow you on Facebook. We're friends on Facebook, and one of the things I really admire about you is your faith. You're a man of faith and post a lot of scripture up there. And can you tell us a little bit about that and in your faith in your life?
Yeah, yeah. I grew up in the church, but and you're young, and we kind of want to try to go our own way and try to create our own path. And in 1997, I was at a crossroad in my life. I didn't know what I wanted to do moving forward. I fell in love with this girl, and it just the relationship was just it went south in a hurry.
Mm.
And I had to realize that in order for me to be successful in the game of baseball as well in the game of life, I had to develop a relationship with the Lord. I had to come back into that relationship with the Lord, and he gave me an opportunity to come back in. He welcomed me in with open arms, and he said, and the Holy Spirit told me one day, he said, if you'll trust me, he said, if you submit yourself to me,
Mhm.
he said, I will bless you 10 times more, and I will give you all that the locust has eaten up. So I'll bring your family back. I'll put your family back together. I'll give you the desires of your heart. He said, and you will appreciate having a relationship with me again. And I trusted that. And ever since I reconnected with Christ, my life has just it's been amazing. The journey that I've been on, from where he's taking me to then and where he's taking me now, it's been great. I would not trade my relationship with the Lord for anything in the world
Amen.
for right now.
Yeah. So, Coach, you are doing this podcast with me from your car.
Yep.
So can you tell us why you're in your car?
Well, I've got some errands to run. I got to go see one of my buddies at the bank, and I was going to try to go to this indoor facility, and I'm currently on quarantine right now
Right.
because my co-workers contracted COVID. So uh, I just don't believe in idle time. I believe in doing something with my time. So I'm gonna go around and go visit some of my friends that's having some hard times right now, and I'm gonna go to a couple of indoor facilities and watch some teams work out today.
All
And
right,
so I'm
that's
gonna get
awesome.
less recruiting.
That's how you learn, right?
Exactly.
So, Coach, can you tell us about your school and your program about Russ College?
Yeah. I'm grateful for Russ College. I was in Texas at Texas College in what year was that? 2015, 16, I think, 16.
16.
And
Yeah.
my sister was stricken with cancer, and I asked her what did she want me to do. My coaching career was always been very important to me, but my sister was really, she and I were really, really close. And so I asked her one day, I said, what would you want me to do? And she said, I want you to come home. And I got to thinking about that, and I prayed about it. And when I prayed, the Holy Spirit told me Russ College. And at that particular time, I had a friend down in Florida. I was at a convention, matter of fact, in Florida, and I reconnected with this guy, and I told him, I asked him, I said, could you help me get a job at Russ College? He said, well, why Russ College? I said, well, it's closer to my hometown, and I want to be closer to my sister. My sister's stricken with cancer, and I want to be close to her. And he said, sure. I give the president at the time, Dr. David Beckley, a call, and he called Dr. Beckley, and Dr. Beckley had him to tell me to call him. And so I called him, and you know, the rest is history. So I'm here. I'm grateful for the opportunity that Russ College has given me. Russ College is a small historical black college in the northwestern part of the state of Mississippi. It's under the umbrella of the United Methodist Church. We're about 1,200, full-time enrollment. In the past, that's what we were. But right now, because of COVID, we're a little down. But we're working real hard and very, very diligently to try to increase our enrollment through the admissions department and the new administration that we have here at Russ College as well. But it's just going to take some time. But we're in the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference, the GCAC. That's where we compete with the likes of Xavier University out of New Orleans, Talladega College out of Alabama, Tougaloo
Yes.
College out of Jackson, Mississippi, Dillard University out of New Orleans, Philander Smith out of Little Rock, Arkansas, just to name a few. But on the baseball side, baseball and softball, we're a part of the Association of Independent Institutions, which is the AII, because there's not enough schools in the GCAC to compete in baseball and softball respectively. So we kind of got the best of both worlds right now.
Gotcha. That makes
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Yep.
So how is your baseball team looking?
Right now we're just fortunately to be 2-0. We went out and recruited some good players, players that have bought into our system, bought into our institution. We value academics first. Baseball is secondary in my program, as always have been. And the kids that we've brought in, we're very, very grateful to have a part of our program, because these young men they work extremely hard in the classroom, and they work as hard in the classroom on the baseball field as they work hard in the classroom. So
Right.
we're delighted, we're elated, we're excited about our program moving forward with these young men that we have. And we have a relatively young team. We probably don't have but 3 seniors at the most on
Oh
our
wow.
team. Everybody else is freshmen and sophomores.
Right. And you got my boy over there, Adrian. How's the big cat doing?
Oh, the big cat is he's a Georgia coach. He's a very, very humble kid. He's very mild mannered. He works hard. He come from a great background, and come from a great family as well. We're just excited to have him a part of our program and what he brings to the table, because he's one of those players that you can combo him if you like. You can play first base. He pitches the
Right.
heck out of the ball, and he's a great catcher. He's really, really worked hard at blocking pitches. So we're like I say, we just delighted to have Adrian Mendoza part of our program.
Well, I'll tell you what, I didn't know he pitched until like the very end of the summer. He finally told me, "Hey, coach, if you need somebody, I'm available." But he was catching, playing first base, and man, could he hit the ball? Very
Yeah,
consistent kid.
yeah, he can.
Um, Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's it. He can really swing the bat, and it's doing pretty good for us.
All right. So, I also saw you guys working on the field together. How does that work, and how did that work with the relationship building with your kids?
Well, I always believe that team building, team bonding is very, very essential when you're trying to build a championship caliber team. Uh, the players can't expect me to go out and fundraise and raise money for the material to fix the field and not work on it. Because what we try to do is we try to use that as an avenue for team bonding and team building. And it's really, really worked wonders for us so far, because they're the one that's out there playing on the field. And
Right.
so they have to learn. And what that does is it teaches them how to understand work.
Hmm.
Number one, it teaches them how to take care of their home. their home field.
Right.
And so and at the same time, it gives them a sense of pride having to work on their own field. So before practice, after games, or whatever the case may be. So it's very, very beneficial for us, and that's something that we've tried to instill in our players from day one: is that this is your home, you have to protect it, and you have to take care of it.
Right. And an added benefit is that you actually get to know your field well enough to know where the divots are and
Right?
where the holes are and where you can bunt the ball. So it's
Exactly, exactly. You need to know your surface. You need to know
right.
your surface. I tell all my guys, make sure you get acclimated to your field because
Yep.
you play on it more so than none.
I don't know if you watched the ABCA convention, but I was watching I think it was Coach Scales, and he was talking about going to an opposition field, and making sure that you understand the field well enough to know where the ball can take a weird bounce, or something can happen to your benefit, even when you're not that's not in your home field. And so I think that knowing your home field is really important. And so that's a good point.
Yeah.
um so let's talk about college recruiting and major league scouting. So
Okay.
for what kind of player are you looking for? And you kind of answered this already, but what kind of player are you looking for in the collegiate level, academically, mentally, and physically?
Well, we always try to look at the high academic guys, because all of them can't be high academic guys. Although you would love to have those guys, those high academic guys, are part of your program. But for me and for my program, I've always been about opportunities and giving kids opportunities to matriculate. And let's get an education first and foremost, and to play college baseball secondly. Because someone gave me a chance, and I want to be able to return that favor to people that don't get an opportunity to be heavily recruited by your Jackson States, your Alcorns, your Florida A&M universities, your Alabama States, people like that. So I just like believing. I like to give these young men an opportunity to get that degree, give them that opportunity that nobody else gives them. What we look for is we look for guys that can play, of course, but we also like to develop our guys because everybody's not going to be fine tuned. Everybody's not going to be Division I ready. So if we have a
Right.
guy that if we see a guy that has some ability, we'll take a chance on that guy. And people call me all the time about kids that are marginal players, and me being who I am and what I try to represent is that I just try to give these young men an opportunity. We got a guy that probably could make anybody else team on my team right now, because I just want to be able to give him a chance. Because you never know, this guy might be the next president of the United States. If I don't
Right.
give him that, well, who will? And
Right.
so we try to go out and get guys that can play, for the most part. Guys be able to hit, got to be able to run, you got to be able to throw, you got to be able to bring something to the table academically. Might be a guy that's pretty good academically, like one of the better guys on my team academically. He was tops in the. He was one of our high academic guys. He had about a 3.8,
Wow.
3.9 GPA last year, and so this kid's about to graduate um, in broadcasting and probably going to be very, very successful at whatever he does or whatever endeavor he pursue. So and just give these guys an opportunity to matriculate and get that quality education and really learn how to play baseball at a high level at the same time. So,
Right. And that's a really good that you're doing that.
yep.
As a head coach at the collegiate level, what is a major or some major misconceptions that you feel that you or your coaches have to correct when you get them to your level?
Major misconceptions. That's a tough one. Guys think they can play coming in as a freshman and don't really understand the game like they think they should.
Right.
You know, we have to prune these guys and get them to understand that college baseball is tough. It ain't it's not like what you witnessed in high school.
Right.
And so they have to really learn how to make those adjustments. I was at a camp one time a couple years ago, and we had to speak to some guys at a showcase. And one of the coaches said the biggest adjustment you're going to have to make coming from high school to college is time management. So a lot of times guys think that they can do what they did in high school and think it'll work for them in college, which it's not the case anymore. Guys have to learn how to make those adjustments because time management is so important throughout your collegiate career. You got to
Right.
learn how.
All right. So, how can high school coaches help fix the problems, some of these problems?
Develop a rapport with college coaches
Okay.
and find out what college coaches do, and so try to implement that with their program so that'll prepare those young men and it'll prepare them for the next level. Because I wouldn't want to, as a high school coach, not have an idea on what college coaches do at their particular program. So I would like to pick, I'm very inquisitive. So I'm one of those coaches that I'm always asking questions. And
Right.
so if I can ask questions from a successful coach or a successful program, that I feel like that will help me improve areas in my program. And so I just think that they need to develop a closer relationship with these college coaches to find out what they're doing in their program and try to implement it at their programs.
Right. That's a good point. That's a very good
Mm-hmm.
point.
Yep.
Um, what drills or strategies do you recommend for high school players to try to fix some of their misconceptions leading into the programs at high school?
I uh, I suggested that high school coaches focus on the fundamental aspect of the game, all facets of the game of baseball, and continue to uh, be consistent with those drills and continue to instill those drills, continue to repetition, so
Hmm.
important and
Right.
so vital. Because sometimes kids will come to us and don't even know how to properly run bases.
Right.
And that's one of the most important facets of the game of baseball to me, is that you got to learn how to run bases. So if guys would understand all facets of the game and the coaches will continue to drill and continue to teach those proper fundamentals and techniques and drills into those student athletes, it's a piece of cake when they come to college. Because I know some coaches that will not take a chance on a kid if he don't know how to do those things that I just aforementioned.
Right.
Uh, if you can't run bases, how can you play?
Right. You don't
You
know.
don't know how to take a proper route, the proper angle in the outfield. How can you play? So
Hmm.
a lot of coaches want ready-made players. Certain coaches like ready-made players. But what we try to do in our program, we try to teach, we try to continue to instill, we try to continue to uh, teach repetition, those particular drills. And so that will help those kids improve in those areas that they need to improve in.
Man, that's all golden right there. That's really
Yeah.
good. All right. So when you're scouting a player for your club, is that different than scouting a kid for the major league level? If so, how is that different?
It's different. It's totally different. It's totally different. Because most draftable players are already in the database. They're already out there. So you know what you're looking for. You're looking for, from the professional standpoint, from the professional ranks, you're looking for guys that can pitch with pitchability, guys that can hit, guy that can run, guy that can field, a guy that can throw, and a guy that can hit for average. It used to be 5 tools, but now it's 6 tools. And the 6th tool is you gotta have the knowledge to be able to play the game. They gotta have that 6th sense. And so if you can possess 2 out of the 3 of those things, of those 2 or 3 things out of those things that I just mentioned, you will have an opportunity to play pro ball. But it's all about being at the right place and being at the right time as well, and being at depends on what the need of that organization too. Depends on what they need. But if a kid can play, he will get looked at. I can promise you that.
Right. So I'm gonna bring up this point that I saw, projectability.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've seen this word a lot, projectability, and some people have suggested that it's as simple as, hey, go shave and make yourself look young. Um, is that as simple as that?
Well, it's a little more to it than that. It's about where you are now and what they project you to be 3 to 4 years down the road. That's what projectability is. It ain't about what they see now. They go by what you're projecting to be in year 3 or year 4 in pro ball, and so
Right.
that's what the projectability is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So and I texted you last night about this. I wanted to about what happened
Okay.
in Durham, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Uh, Basically, North Carolina Central University has announced that they're going to discontinue the sport of baseball. And my question um, is that is this a common theme with historically black colleges? And is there anything that Major League Baseball or any other baseball organizations can do to try to prevent these things from happening?
because of compliance issues from the NCAA.
Hmm.
That's one reason why Major League Baseball can't do as much as they would have, but as much as they would like to help a lot of our financially strapped institutions because of the compliance issues. It's just it hurts my heart,
Right.
uh, especially from North Carolina Central, a school like North Carolina Central, because when I was at Savannah State, we had the luxury of playing them, and Jim Corner does a great job at what he has to work with at North Carolina Central, and that kind of shocked me because I always thought that they had the resources to be very, very competitive and had the resources to keep their program going. So that was a big shocker to me because they've had some great players uh, in the past, and it just is very, very disheartening for me to see that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah, it is very sad. I wish that there's more that could be done. And I know that's reading the article, is more about the toll that COVID has taken on them.
yeah.
So I know that there's a lot of places. I mean, my school is one of those at the high school level.
Right.
Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you plug in Russ College one more time,
All
you
right.
know, for coaches and high school players.
Yeah, Russ College, we give young men opportunity to matriculate. Like I said earlier, is that you feel free to reach out to us via email, or you can reach me on my telephone. You can call me at 662. That's the area code 420-6927. Or you can email me at sstubbs@rustcollege.edu. college.edu, and we would love to, come down and look at you and send us some video or send us your schedule, and we will try our best to get out there and watch each of you guys play. I know we can't see everybody, but definitely give us a shout and give us a call, and we'll try our best to come look at you.
I've got one kid in mind right now who's got 2 years worth of high school, and I'm going to try to get him over there.
Okay, thank you, Coach. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for everything you do. Thank you for sending Big Mendoza to us as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we got to do this interview.
Yep.
Much love, and we'll stay in touch.
All right, Coach. Thanks for having me. God
All right.
bless you.
All right. God bless you. Well, that's it for this week. I hope you heard something practical that you can use in your practices to help make you and your program better. Please send any feedback to revolutionbaseballpodcast@yahoo.com, and I will see you next week. Have a great one. Bye.